I'm setting up the drums for my show. Drummer from a different band walks up to me, hands me his business card, offers me drum lessons. He comes up to me after my set. He goes, "Oh, you're actually really good." I'm like, "Yeah, f you." Tom Tom magazine's the only magazine in the world that covers female drummers. My goal was to create this hype machine, a place for drummers to be seen for the very first time.
I met Mindy 6 years ago in 2010, and I always call her the leader of the revolution.
Online, up until that point, you could get an ample amount of hyper-sexualized photographs of women next to drum sets, but never an actual drummer playing her kit.
One of the most important reasons why we need Tom Tom is to be able to see other people who look like us, who are excelling at their craft of the drums. We do need community around women drummers because they're not as regularly seen as men. But it makes me feel so motivated.
This is Tom Tom Magazine. It's a magazine about female drummers. We cover female drummers, beat makers, producers. Everything in here is about a lady who makes beats. This is why we do what we do, because women are drummers and should be seen as equals. Tom Tom is a place for drummers to be seen. The Art Museum is a space for the drummers to be seen and heard.
Museums are institutions, cultural institutions that are dedicated to preserving and presenting the history of art and culture. One of the major missions of a museum is to conserve and preserve art. How do you contend with performance, which is the most ephemeral, non-objective kind of art form?
Mindy is force of nature. She's so driven, enthusiastic. She knows that what she's doing is just a great thing, you know? And it just brings people in.
Women are notoriously objects to be looked at. And museums are places in which, historically, men have painted women, and so we're there all over the walls of museums. Now I'm putting women in the museums who are seen and heard. There are 4 movements in the oral history of female drummers. The first movement is 4 minutes long. We're silenced, we're quieted, underrepresented. The 4th movement is 32 minutes long and total chaos. It's the most insane. It's the most let loose at full volume after they've been holding back for the prior 3 movements. The 4th movement is now and the future. We're here, we're loud, you can't miss us, you can't ignore us. We're going to tell our stories, and we're going to be part of the fabric that is music.
This segment of players here represents the other half that has gone on really kind of not unnoticed, but underserved by a male-run industry.
I grew up Orthodox Jewish, and within the religion there's something called the mechitza, which is a literal gender divide. It's a partition that separates the men from the women. So as a kid, I'd be going to synagogue with my dad and my brothers, and we'd enter the shul, and they'd go off to the right, and I'd go off to the left. And for some people, that works, and for me, it was alienating. I literally dressed as an alien to my bat mitzvah when I was 12. I don't believe any hard lines around gender, around race, around sexuality or religion, and I'm learning each time with each one of these museum pieces that people are willing to move forward.
A place that isn't usually filled with live musicians is being filled with live musicians, and the fact that it's female or non-gender conforming makes it even more exciting.
We will be getting louder. You will be paying attention to us.
Music and drumming to me is about being present and being current and being here in the moment.
I don't get to be around female musicians or musicians that happens to be females.
Listening to each of you and just getting that re-energy of how lucky we are to be here is exactly why I love this event.
Museums allow people to engage and encounter performance art very intimately. There's not a stage set up and there's not a passive relationship. It's just about being able to encounter something in a space where you might not expect to see a live performer and having a surprising one-on-one experience with that person.
This here is really special to me because growing up,
There's no one in my family that is musical, like, at all. For years, I was just air drumming, figuring it out, going to church, doing my thing till they kick me off the drums, you know. You know, the guys come in, it never failed. Get her off the drums, go put the next person on. So.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, fucking geniuses. You're going to slay this. I love you. Yeah. Women and girls have not been historically invited to the drum kit. In my opinion, that's forced us to become more creative, more confident, stronger, more innovative on the kit. Drums are steady. They don't go away. They keep in time. Drumming is very much a metaphor for the progress of the political and social change I'd like to see happen. We're rhythmically standing by, patiently calling for rebellion. We're not going away. We're getting louder. We're playing for longer. Drumming is our rebellion.